Hey guys, welcome back to Chariot Palmistry, where we give you the tools to help you navigate your life. And in this video, I want to talk about the letters that appear on your hands. And so if you look at your hands, you may find the money M. You may see the letter A, the letter T, the letter X, or one of many other letters that will appear on your hands. And I want to talk to you guys about what this means, especially in terms of Indian palmistry. And this is going to be a very short video because there's a one-word answer to all of this: nothing. These letters don't actually have a meaning in palmistry at all. And if you look at these lines, they're not actually formed as specific palmistry symbols. So if you look at someone's hand, like a fish symbol over here, that's formed by a very specific sequence of lines. Whereas the ones that form these letters, like this M, for example, that's more or less a coincidence of like just the way that lines crisscross each other. You got to be very selective to make that form an M, because it could just as easily form a N or any other letter if you want. If you follow these lines all the way through, they don't actually look like the letter that they're supposed to represent. But the fish symbol, that can only really be formed that way. Like there's no other way to interpret it. Even if you extend these lines out, it'll still look like a fish, whereas the money M won't look anything like it's supposed to. And the reason for that is that most of these letters are actually Latin characters. They're not from Hindi or Sanskrit or anything from India, therefore they're not a part of Indian palmistry. And there is one exception to this, and that's the Om symbol in palmistry. It looks like the capital letter E, and if you look at what the Om symbol is drawn as, it kind of does look like an E, but it's not the Latin E, if that kind of makes sense at all. And I do want to tell you guys about a palmist out of the Western palmistry tradition. Her name was Mrs. Robinson, and I think she was in England about 100 or 200 years ago. And what she could do really well was look at your hands, find letters, and tell you who the key people in your life were based on those letters. So she could tell you the name of your spouse, for example, or your mother, and that kind of thing. She never actually taught that method, and although she wrote a really influential book on palmistry, she never taught that technique in her book. So there is some way to use letters, but it's got nothing to do with Indian palmistry, and it's certainly not these big letters that appear like 4 or 5 centimeters on your hands. I think what she was talking about were these micro lines, but that system has been lost and no one really knows what it is. So that, guys, is the meaning of letters on your hands. I know I've disappointed you because I'm thinking maybe you were thinking of like these big elaborate meanings for all of this, but the real meaning of it all is it doesn't actually mean anything for you. So if you have questions on this, drop them in the comment section below and hit subscribe to us as well. Thanks a lot, guys.